Hi, this is Naomi with Sword and Steel, and today's book that we're going to be looking through and discussing is the Teclis Broken Realms book for Warhammer Age of Sigmar. Now, we know, of course, that it's going to be heavily involved in the Lumineth Realm-Lords. However, it also says that there are going to be exciting new allegiance abilities and Warscroll battalions for the Lumineth Realm-Lords and Cities of Sigmar, as well as new Warscroll battalions for Maggotkin of Nurgle, Flesh Eater Courts, and Ossiarch Bonereapers, and 3 updated Warscrolls for Maggotkin of Nurgle. Now, for those wondering about the Warscrolls and acquiring them, Warscrolls are in general readily available as soon as this book comes out. You can use the Age of Sigmar app to look up your new updated Warscroll. So getting this book, if you have a new Warscroll, is necessary. But if you're interested in the stuff that's involved in this, that's what we're going to look into. Teclis, looking stunning with his rather big helmet. Ooh. Fighting off. All right. Let's see what this is. It just discusses what's currently happening with Teclis right now, I guess. When he's about to face death is not of itself an evil thing. It is the fate that meets us all, whether pauper or king. It is the great leveler, the end that comes to all things. More than that, it is the bridge between a vibrant mortal lifespan and the solemn afterlife awaiting us in Shaiish. Okay. Were the natural order of things allowed to unfold, our destinations would likely be those which our hearts held most true in most cases. We Lumineth would find them peaceful and reflective. We would go to the lands of lost light and dwell in quiet harmony. Yet that inheritance has been seized from us. Our paradise has been stolen and made hellish. Well, that definitely doesn't sound good. The realm of death has become a twisted thing and tortured and turned upon itself. Its sanctity has been polluted by settlers and conquered by the greed of the malignancy known to men as the great necromancer. The lesser gods of Shaiish, too, have been consumed. A soul there is not safe, but under the rule of Nagash it may be remade into a revenant so foul it could stop the heart. That definitely sounds like a problem. Now Shaiish is a land twice cursed, and those who should have found nirvana upon their death now find only hostile purgatory. Worse still, Nagash seeks to tighten his grip. Even beloved Hish has felt the cold winds of necromancy billowing across its specters by the thousand flowing where they may. In this, Nagash has overreached, and this he has sealed his own doom, for we Lumineth have taken up our blades and gone to war. The long work of salvation has begun. Wow, that is super intense. That really does feel like an important war. Absolutely. The rise of the Lumineth, precipitated by Teclis' forays into the mortal realm, so the elves restore order across 100 war-torn nations. They and their allies did not stand uncontested. Indeed, amongst the cast of madmen, tyrants, and kings that opposed them was the great necromancer himself. Gods of the mortal realms. Oh, neat. Okay. Gods of the mortal realms, Lumineth Realm-Lords, minions of Nagash, champions of order, servants of the dark gods. Okay, so it's a little description of what each of the different peoples are. Cool. Look at that art. That's nice. Teclis' Sphinx. Oh, pretty. The Storm of Geist. It says, the city of settlers gain in Hish was a place of high spires and soaring achievement, but upon the barren wilderness at the dawn of the Age of Sigmar. Sorry, built upon the barren wilderness at the dawn of the Age of Sigmar. But even the favor of its luminous sponsors did not mean it was immune to the crippling effects of the necroquake. Then, in its darkest hour, a true savior appeared. Dun, 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 dun. Teclis. Cool. We have that. War of Empires. So there's going to be all sorts of statement of intel. The first spearing. Ooh, the Ossiarch Empire. All these fantastic maps to build upon if you're going to be doing a role-playing game. This would probably be a pretty awesome background for an RPG for Age of Sigmar, where you're like Lumineth or some order where we're trying to take back Shaiish so that everyone can live in the afterlife in peace. That seems like an RPG-worthy quest. Archmage Teclis. So Teclis has been around for a while, along with his twin brother Tyrion and Alariel. Quite the trio they are. And, oh my gosh, there's so much information. Ride of the Venari, the luminous improvised tactic. Okay, I'm not going to reveal everything for that, because I definitely think it should be read through with much joy. If you want me to ever do a summary on what is happening between the Lumineth and their war upon Shaiish and the Great Necromancer, let me know. Oh, look at all these maps. Such a wealth of information. Von Karstein. Death to Life. Oh my goodness. So all of these, it says all of the rules in here are going to be featuring, are going to be based on the backgrounds of all of these. So this is such a wealth of information, I imagine. Look at that nice map. Filling out the holes in the previous maps. Probably. Cool. So cool. Oh my gosh, so much information. The 10 Paradises Fish. Oh gosh, so much going on. Whoa, there's so much information. Oh, I bet it will be so fun to go through. Look at that. Haitian Peril. Look at that map. Emetrica. These are where the Lumineth stick around. The Vertiginous Peaks. One of the most notorious mountain ranges in that I've been hearing of these days. The Vertiginous Peaks. Darkness Descends. War on the Peak. Oh, of course you're going to be fighting there. Lots of fights have been happening in the Age of Sigmar. Ooh. Wow, look at them. Oh my goodness, that's going to be quite the battle. Oh boy. Teclis versus Nagash. Awesome. So awesome. Look at that. Oh. Look at those spears. They have got really strong arms. Or there's, I mean, I suppose they're elves and they've got like elven wood and elven mithril maybe. Oh, wrong realm. But yeah. Look at that purple sun. So intense. Oh, so awesome. Oh man. So much. Okay, so the first, can't believe that's only 67 pages. The first 67 pages are all a wealth of information about the storyline and the places and all that stuff. And then we get the rules. And this has 152 pages. But it looks like Battletome updates. Oh, Battletome updates. Page 87. So where it starts Battletome updates. Cool, well it's got it all very well laid out. And that's nice. Okay. The rules. Broken Realms. Campaign rules. Ah, campaigns for this particular thing. Let's see. This section of Broken Realms Teclis contains exciting new rules for open play and narrative play games. You can use the rules in this section to recreate the battles that were fought between the forces of Teclis and Nagash as they struggled for supremacy in the mortal realms. This section includes a set of rules that allow you to link together the battle plans in this book so that the result of each battle has an impact on the subsequent battles. I am eventually absolutely doing some sort of campaign. Campaign sounds like great fun to play. If you don't have all of the units or armies needed to fight a campaign, just substitute suitable units that you do have for the ones you don't. For example, if the player using the Null Myriad army in A Fate Postponed didn't have any Gothizzar Harvesters, they can substitute them for Ossiarch Bonereapers units they don't have, as you would expect. Though it would be pretty fun, I suppose, to play it as they were. Alright. Streets of Death. Barricades. Interesting. Bricks and stones. At the bricks and the defender can make. Interesting, so they've got barricades and buildings that you'll want to use and a narrow street. Ooh. So you'll be playing in a very different, a very specific location. Realm of Battle Nvidia. Realm of Battle Praetor Shaish, and what happens there is going to have very special. The fun thing about the narrative play ones is that you've got special things that are happening, making your game very different from just a normal play. Well, it wouldn't be for match play because of all the various terrain that you're going to put out is not necessarily going to be fair at all. And more narratively, which is cute. Realm of Battle Nvidia Gyrin, Emetrica Hish, Storm of Geist. Cool. And the battle plans that are involved. A Fate Postponed. Clash of Gods. Oh. Battletome updates. Okay, so that was the campaign rules. For if you want to play out all the storyline, which sounds like great fun. Battletome updates. Alright, maybe it has a little... This section of Broken Realms Teclis includes updates to 4 Battletomes which allow you to use the armies described in the narrative section of the book in your games of Warhammer Age of Sigmar. The updates are designed to be used with the battle plans in this book and can also be used in match play. That would be quite relevant. Oops. Maggotkin of Nurgle. This update to Battletome Maggotkin of Nurgle contains the Nvidian Plague Host Warscroll Battalion and updated Warscrolls for the Slopty Bilepiper, Spoilpox Scrivener, and Beasts of Nurgle, Cities of Sigmar. This update to Battletome Cities of Sigmar contains the Zintil War Magice Warscroll Battalion and Settlers Gain Allegiance ability. Cool. Flesh Eater Courts. This update to Battalion Flesh Eater Courts contains the Mortevell's Helcourt Warscroll Battalion, allowing you to represent Gorstein Mortevell and his sycophantant courtiers in your games. Ossiarch Bonereapers. This update to Battletome Ossiarch Bonereapers contains the Horrek's Dreadlance Warscroll Battalion, allowing you to represent Liege Cavalos Horrek Venzai and his infamous Dreadlance in your games. Okay, so mostly Warscroll battalions, but we've got a new allegiance ability because it's a new city, and updated Warscrolls. But again, the Warscrolls will be available for you to look at for free, so don't feel like you don't need to acquire this book to check them out. But now that we have them, let's see what's the difference. Let me just pull up Sloppity Bilepiper, Sloppity Herald of Nurgle. Okay, so let's see. Oh, you're gonna mess up my light, aren't you? All right. Sloppity Bilepiper. Wounds 5, movement 4. So, save plus has moved to 5+. It was 4+, now it is 5+. And he is using a Marauder, which is range 1, 4 attacks. 4+ to hit, 3+ to wound, Ren -1, 2 damage. That has stayed the same. He's armed with a Marauder. He's disgustingly resilient, which is roll a dice each time you allocate a wound or mortal wound to this model. On a 5+, that wound or mortal is negated, which of course is the same. Disease of Mirth. Add 1 to the bravery characteristic of friendly Nurgle demon units while they are wholly within 14 inches of any friendly Sloppity Bilepipers. Disease of Mirth. 14 inches. So it used to be 7 inches. Add 1 and subtract 1. Add 1 to you, subtract 1 from your opponent. Now it is just 14 inches. Add 1 to the bravery. While they're wholly within. While the previous one was while they're within. So that, I don't know whether people would be happy with that change, because the -1 to bravery is possibly an extra model gone from your opponent. But you let me know. Jolly Gut Pipes. At the start of the combat phase, you can say that this model will play a revolting tune. If you do so, pick one of the following tunes. The effect of that tune lasts until the end of that phase. A unit cannot benefit from a tune more than once per phase. If a unit is affected by 2 or more different tunes, none of these tunes have an effect on that unit in that phase. Alright, so that's probably quite different from what it used to be, because it used to be you just reroll failed charge rolls and hit rolls of 1 for friendly Nurglings and Great Unclean One units while they're within 7 inches. And now it's you choose 1, as long as you remember to do so at the start of the combat phase. You pick one of the following tunes, and the effects last until the end of that phase. Okay, so a stabbing, we will go. Jeez. Add 1 to the attacks characteristic of melee weapon used by friendly Nurgle demon units that are wholly within 14 inches of any friendly Sloppity Bilepipers while playing this tune. Nurgle demon units. Well, that is extended then, because they used to be friendly Nurglings and Great Unclean Ones, but now it's all Nurgle demon units. Wholly within. That's an additional 2 attacks instead of rerolling 1s. So they're still rerolling 1s, traps? If early one evening my pustule was seeping. Oh, jeez. If the unmodified hit roll for an attack made by a friendly Nurgle demon unit wholly within 14 inches of any Sloppity Bilepiper playing this tune is 6. That inflicts 1 mortal wound on the target in addition to any normal damage. Well, that's nice. And my love is like a ripe fart. Thanks, guys. Enemy models within 3 inches of a friendly Nurgle demon unit that is wholly within 14 inches of any friendly Sloppity Bilepipers while playing this tune cannot finish pile-in moves closer to a model from that unit than they were at the start of the move. Okay. Jeez. Weird. It's just weird. So that's completely different. The Jolly Gut Pipe's completely different. You used to reroll failed charge rolls and hit rolls of 1 for Nurglings and Great Unclean Ones within 7 inches. Now it's just completely different. Okay. You can add 1 to the attacks. I guess that's that's nice. That's super nice. Or you can 6s inflict 1 mortal wound on in addition. That's also pretty nice. And the weirdest one, enemy models within 3 inches of friendly demon units that are wholly within 14 inches of any sloppity biopipers playing this tune cannot finish pile-in moves closer to a model from that unit than they were at the start of the move. Pile-in moves closer to... Well, that really would mess up trying to get all your models in. And it's at the start of the combat phase. So every combat phase. Okay. Well, let me know what you think of that in the comments below. Alright, that's that. Spoilpox Scrivener. Weirdest looking model ever. That's that guy. Weird. It's just really weird. Alright. I'm gonna assume... Yeah, so wounds 5, move 4, strength, save is 5+, which is it used to be 4+, now it's 5+, 10 bravery. Disgusting sneeze. Alright, 6 inches, d6 damage, d6 attacks, 2+ to hit, that's improved. It used to be 3+, now it's 2+, so that's a nice improvement. 4+ to wound, rend 0, and 1 damage, so better to hit. Otherwise the same. That's nice. Okay. Distended jaw. 2-inch range, 2 attacks, 3+ to hit, 3+ to wound. That is an improvement. It used to be 4+, now it is 3+. So they've improved. They've improved their weapons overall. Run -1, 2 damage. That is the same. Disgusting resilient. It would be the same. Keep counting. I'm watching you. At the start of the combat phase, you can say this model will call for 1 count. If you do so, pick one friendly Plague Bear unit wholly within 14 inches of this model and pick one of the following counts for that unit to carry out. The effect of that count lasts until the end of that phase. A unit cannot carry out more than 1 count per phase. To remind you, it used to be reroll dice rolls of 1 when making charge rolls for friendly Plague Bearers, while they're within 7 inches. In addition, reroll hit rolls of 1 for friendly Plague Bearer units while they're within 7 inches. So Plague Bearers really like these guys. Now, do they still really like them? Tally of blows. Add 1 to the attacks characteristic of melee weapons used by a unit carrying out this count. Okay. Improve the rend characteristic of melee weapons used by a unit carrying out this count by 1. That's very nice. I guess unless you're playing against ethereal guys, in which case it doesn't matter at all. But in a lot of cases, that's very nice, and you could just add 2 attacks instead if that happens. And add 1 to save rolls for attacks that target a unit carrying out this count. And it's the start of the combat phase, so you get to keep changing it, depending on the situation, which is very nice. Reroll dice rolls of 1 for making charge rolls. Probably would have been nice, but I think I certainly enjoyed the add 1 to the attacks better. In addition, reroll hit rolls of 1. Definitely like the reroll hit rolls of 1, but improve the rend and add to the save rolls. I think that's a fair trade, and he's got better stuff. I'll have to see if there's any change to the, once I finish reading through this one, once I finish reading through Breeds to Nurgle, we'll see if there's any change to the points cost of these guys. Alright. Oh, he's gone up in wounds. I can see that already. Cool. It used to be 7 wounds. Now they are 8 wounds. Okay. Immediate improvement. Movement is 5. Save of 5, 10 bravery, 8 wounds. The rest is the same, but the wounds have increased. Okay. And let's see. Clawed limbs and fanged maw. They separated. It used to be claws and tentacles and slobbering tongue. Now it's clawed limbs and fanged maw, which is 1-inch range, 4 attacks, 4+ to hit, 3+ to wound, rend -1, 2 damage. This is cool. overall, since the Slobbering Tongue is basically the next one, yeah, that is good. It used to be 1 attack for claws and tentacles. It is just changed. It's changed. It used to be there was a 1-inch D6 damage, 4+ to hit, 3+ to wound, no rend, 1 damage. We now have rend, and there's 2 damage. And the other one used to be 2-inch range, 1 attack, 3+ to hit, 3+ to wound, no rend, and D3 damage. Now it's D6 damage and 4 attacks. So we've increased the attacks by 3. We do not have a 3+3+. We are now at a 2 4+ and 3+s, but we do have an additional rend. We lost the D3 damage. We've got a static 2 damage, which, I mean, it's either 1 to 3 damage or 2 damage. That's not much of a loss. The rend -1 is great. The extra 3 attacks as opposed to +1 to hit, I think that evens out pretty well. So cool. There is a lack of range, but I think that's I think it's alright. A unit of Beasts of Nurgle has any number of models, each armed with clawed limbs and a fanged maw and tentacles and a slobbering tongue. Okay, disgusting, really resilient. They are still acidic slime trail. Before this unit makes a retreat move, roll a dice for each enemy unit within 3 inches of this unit. On a 4+, that unit suffers D3 mortal wounds. Before this unit makes a retreat move, roll a dice for each enemy unit within 3 inches. On a 4+, that unit suffers D3 mortal wounds. That's pretty nasty. It used to be roll a dice for each enemy unit within 3 inches. Me before this, on a 4+. Okay, so this is reworded, but it's exactly the same. So acidic slime trails is the same. Okay. Attention seekers. This unit can run and/or retreat and still charge later in the same turn. In addition, when this unit retreats, it can pass across other models in the same manner as a model that can fly. That's new. The second part is new. The first, Attention Seekers, is exactly the same, running and charging in the same turn, or running and/or retreating and charging in the same turn. That's the same, but now they can pass through across other models in the same manner as a model that can fly. So that is an improvement. And Pestilent Battering Rams. Okay, they got rid of their ability Locus of Virulence, which was add 1 to the damage characteristic of this unit's weapons while it's within 7 inches of a friendly Nurgle demon hero. That is gone. Now instead, they have Pestilent Battering Rams. After a model from this unit finishes a charge move, roll a dice for each enemy unit within 1 inch of that model. After this unit finishes a charge move, roll a dice for each enemy unit within 1 inch of it. After a model from it. So each model, this happens. Okay. On a 2+, that unit suffers D3 mortal wounds. If this unit has more than 1 model, roll to determine if mortal wounds are inflicted after each model finishes its charge move, but do not allocate the mortal wounds until all other models in the unit have finished their charge move. Yeah, that seems a lot better than what they had. It used to be increase the damage while within 7 inches of a hero, but that damage has a lot of 4+ to hit and 3+ to wound to get through. This is on a 2+, that unit suffers D3 mortal wound for each model that finishes a charge move within 1 inch of the enemy, for each enemy unit. That is much better. Wow. That is nasty. How many guys can you get in here? Is it like, how many Beasts of Nurgle do you normally have? Do we have, I think I noticed pitch battle profile. Beasts of Nurgle, maximum 3, which kind of makes you want to do it. Bring it up to 3. But 3 apart and 3 together all mean the same thing, so it doesn't particularly matter. Okay, so that is a really big increase. They've either increased by 50 points or by 60 points. Wow, You'll have to really think on whether that is worth it or not, because you have to get rid of something entirely, probably, to make room for him now. Beasts, no. Other. 70 points, okay. Dude. What do you mean max 1? Now you can put in groups of 3. I guess you couldn't before. So, 70 points. Let's look at that again. Beasts of Nurgle are 120 points per, though. Okay, so they're all gone up. That's different. Definitely different. You'll have to let me know what you think of the increases and their changes. So Beasts of Nurgle have definitely improved with that. Mortal Wounds. Mortal Wounds, super nice. 2+. That's nice. 120 points. 50 points is a big increase for a 90-point model. And 150 or 60 points on the Sloppity Biopiper. Let me know. Are you going to be using it? Contemplation, on the other hand. Do you have much choice, leader? Oh. You got a few options. Now, let's have a look at this Warscroll Battalion. Invidian Plague Host. So you need 1 Sloppity Biopiper, whose name is Gortal Pulpskull. 1 Spoilpox Scrivener, whose name is Nodrak the Snitch. 2 Plaguebearer units, and the Sloppity Biopiper and Spoilpox Scrivener from this battalion are unique named characters. The first time a Plaguebearer's unit from this battalion is destroyed, a new What? That's nasty. A new Plaguebearer's unit with 10 models is added to your army. Set up this unit wholly within your territory, wholly within 6 inches of the edge of the battlefield, and more than 9 inches from any enemy units. Well, that's nice. You get free Plaguebearers. A free Plaguebearers unit, and it costs 120 points to use this battalion, and you get a command trait for your general, who must take this command trait if you're going with this battalion, which is add 1 to the bravery characteristic of Nurgle demon units from this battalion while they're wholly within 14 inches of him. Okay. I mean, that's the exciting part. Bravery is always nice, I suppose. 1 less model to take away. Cities of Sigmar. Let's have a look. Cities of Sigmar. City of Learning is the settler's gain, is a city of learning. When you choose a keyword for a City of Sigmar's army using the Strongholds of Order battle trait in the Battletome Cities of Sigmar, you can choose the settler's gain keyword instead of one of those listed. And that is going to be in a few pages, because it wants you to read the Warscroll Battalion for this first. We've got 1 Battle Mage, who is Archibald Lazarn, 1 Luminarch of Hish, which is the Beacon of Intellect, 1 Celestian Hurricanum with Celestial Battle Mage, which is one of these guys. The brand new models that I haven't looked at yet. Those are intense. You know what? I bet they really, really shouldn't go around turns really fast. That could be a problem. The battle mage from this battle, the battle mage from the battalion is a unique named character and must be from Hish. All units from this battalion must have the settler's gain keyword. Okay. When using the Searing Beam of Light ability for the Luminarch of Hish from this battalion, you can reroll the roll that determines if the unit suffers D3 mortal wounds. That's nice. In addition, when you use the Aura of Protection ability for the Luminarch of Hish from this battalion, add 1 to the roll that determines if a wound or mortal wound is negated. That also sounds very nice. How much do you cost, Mr. Warscroll Battalion? Zentil War Magi. 140 points. Okay. Settlers gain battle traits and command traits and artifacts of power and spell lores. Let's have a glance, shall we? Okay. Settlers gain army must be from Heesh. No problem. Got it. From Heesh. Lumineth tutors. You can choose one extra Settlers gain free guild hero or Settlers gain collegiate arcane hero to have an artifact of power in a Settlers gain army. That is nice. In addition, you can add 1 to casting rolls for Settler gains collegiate arcane wizards. That is also nice. That would be like a real good push into getting me to be using the army. An extra artifact, an extra 1 to casting rolls. Yeah, thanks. I'll take it. When you choose a Settlers gain army, 1 in every 4 units can be a Lumineth Realm-Lords unit. This is in addition to the option for 1 in every 4 units to be a Stormcast Eternals unit. Ah, that seems like super fun. Oh. Those units gain the Cities of Sigmar and Settlers gain reward. Can you imagine? Alright, so I'd use 1/4 is going to be Stormcast Eternals, 1/4 is going to be Lumineth, and then I've got half to choose for the rest for Cities of Sigmar. Oh my gosh, it just seems like a really fun way to play. Cool. We'll see. I mean, it could possibly not work together at all, but I'm gonna find out. Command ability. Elven training. You can use this command ability at the start of the Battle Shock phase. If you do so, pick 1 friendly Settlers gain Lumineth Realm-Lords hero. Do not take Battle Shock tests in that phase. For friendly Settlers gain free guild or Settlers gain collegiate arcane units wholly within 18 inches of that hero. Don't take Battle Shock tests. That's nice. You can use this command ability at the start of the Battle Shock phase. Wholly within 18 inches is not bad either. I like it. Not taking Battle Shock tests. Sounds good to me. Cool. Settlers gain command traits. Settlers gain generals only. This general can fly. Fun. If this general is part of your army and on the battlefield at the start of your hero phase, roll a dice. On a 4+, you receive 1 extra command point. Also fun. Command points are really handy. Raging Outburst. Add 1 to hit and wound rolls for attacks made with melee weapons by this general, but subtract 1 from save rolls for attacks made with melee weapons that target this general. Cool. I guess it just depends. Depends on who I would use as a general. I don't know. I don't know yet. Alright, artifacts of the luminaries. Which you may, which in this case you'll have 2 of possibly. You don't have to necessarily choose the artifacts from here, but they are possibly a bonus artifact. Let alone if you use put a battalion in there to get an additional artifact. The first time the bearer is slain, Heartstone. The first time the bearer is slain before removing them from play, roll a dice. On a 4+, they are not slain. 1 wound is allocated to them. 1 wound allocated to them is healed, and any wounds that remain to be allocated to them are negated. Cool. I think I'd probably want to use that. On the other hand, remove them from play. Before removing them from play, roll a dice. But they are exactly where they left. On the other hand, it could be fantastic because they still get all of their stuff, so he uses everything to fight them, and the Heartstone makes them come back with 1 wound remaining, and he could slay the person who originally slew him. So cool. That's a nice artifact, and it's a nice bonus artifact. Oh man, just carrying this Heartstone, along with perhaps a Talisman of Dispellation. You do not have to reduce the number of spells the bearer can attempt to cast in your hero phase if they attempted to dispel an endless spell in the same phase. Very situational, but there are some who certainly use a lot of endless spells. It would be kind of cute if that endless spell that lifts you up and gives you extra bonuses to casting spells, and you just for free, dispel it. And then I'll deal with my regular stuff. Ha 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 ha. Silver-plated wand. The bearer can attempt to cast 1 extra spell in your hero phase. It's always nice. Blade of Leaping Bronze. Pick one of the bearer's melee weapons. Add 2 to the attack's characteristic of that weapon. 2, that's also great. That is super nice. There's a bunch of different wizards in this area with Lumineth Realm-Lords, Stormcast Eternals, and Cities of Sigmar, so that's super nice. Amulet of Haste. Roll a dice after the bearer finishes a normal move and they ran. On a 2+, the bearer can still charge later in the same turn. It's also super nice. Stone Spirit Armor. Roll a dice each time you allocate a wound or mortal wound to the bearer. On a 6, that wound or mortal wound is negated. Woohoo! In addition, each time the bearer is affected by a spell or endless spell, you can roll a dice on a 5+, ignore the effects of that spell on that bearer. Cool. Wound or normal wound. So feel no pain. Or Deathless Spirits, if we're gonna go more Age of Sigmar. Cool. A very important hero. I might be going ahead with that one. A 6. Which would you choose? If they are slain, come back. Or keep them from being slain in the first place, maybe. A 6. Not sure. Probably the Hearthstone. On the other hand, you could possibly... Well, not for the same person, I suppose. Maybe. Or just choose the wand for extra spells. Settlers gain spell lores. You can choose or roll for one of the spells for each collegiate arcane wizard in a Settlers gain army. Okay. Drain Magic. Drain Magic has a casting value of 6. If successfully cast, until your next hero phase, subtract 1 from casting, dispelling, and unbinding rolls for wizards within 12 inches of the caster. So nasty. So nasty. I like it. Yes. It'll be something because this collegiate arcane wizard is like coming towards the enemy. And the enemy is, oh, holy smokes, I gotta get away from you. Chasing after wizards. Shield of Light. Shield of Light has a casting value of 6. If successfully cast, pick one friendly unit wholly within 12 inches of the caster until your next hero phase. Roll a dice each time you allocate a wound or mortal wound to that hit. On a 6+, that wound or mortal wound is negated. Nice. Bringing on the Stone Spirit Armor to other people. That, yeah, based on shield casting, based on how much you know that they're going to be attacked with, this could really help reduce the chances of your unit being knocked out. Cool. Illuminate. Illuminate has a casting value of 6. If successfully cast, pick one enemy unit within 12 inches of the caster that is visible to them. Until your next hero phase, add 1 to hit rolls for attacks made with missile weapons that target that unit. Huh. Yeah. I mean, it all depends on... If I was going against Caradron Overlords, I'm choosing that one. I suppose you have to choose it before you know if you're playing Caradron Overlords. But yeah. Nasty. Oh, wait. No. I think I'm... The wizard points at a foe and makes them clearly visible. I clearly read it wrong. Successfully pick one enemy with 12 inches until your next hero. Add 1 to hit rolls for attacks made with missiles. I would bet... Okay, yeah, I read it wrong. It's, add 1 to hit rolls for attacks made with missile weapons that target the unit. But it improves your own guy's missile weapons. I would totally be using that. Yes. Totally. I would totally be using that. Illuminate. I would make certain I had archers in there just so I could use it. Oh, Judicators. Yes. Judicators. Oh. Yes. And it's not wholly within, it's just within 12 inches. Yes, Judicators. Cool. Fun, 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 fun. Mortevell's Helcourt. So this is the new Flesh Eater Court. Warscroll Battalion. And it costs... Mortevell's Helcourt, 100 points. Okay. 100 points to give something this. If you have one abhorrent arc regent, whose name is Gorstein Mortevell, one crypt horrors unit, one crypt ghouls unit, the aberrant arc regent is unique and must have the Hollow Mourn keyword. All units must have the Hollow Mourn keyword. Okay. Religious Fervor. Do not take battle shock tests for units from this battalion that are wholly within 12 inches of the abhorrent arc regent from the same battalion. Okay. A command trait. It must have this command trait. The Bright Emperor. Once per battle, this general can use the... if he's your army's general, of course. Once per battle, this general can use the Ravenous Crusader's command ability, See Battletome Flesh Eater Courts, without a command point being spent. That could be quite nice. I'm not exactly certain what the command ability is at the moment, but could be nice for 100 points. You'll let me know if you think that is worth doing. Now, Ossiarch Bonereapers, Horrek's Dreadlance. You cost la da 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 la da da da. Horrek's Dreadlance, 120 points. 120 points to add this Battle Skull. So one Liege Cavalos, who is named Horrek Venze. It's either Venzi or Venze. Horrek Venze. I'm going Venzi. So someone tells me differently. 2 Cavalos Death Rider units. The Liege Cavalos for this battalion is a unique named character. All units from this battalion must be Ossiarch Lords keyword. If I remember correctly, the Ossiarch Lords are good anyway, so that's nice. Relentless Attackers. Each time you pick a unit from this battalion, when you use the Rally Back command ability, See Battletome Ossiarch Bonereapers, roll dice on a 4+, you receive 1 Relentless Discipline point. So every time you use that command ability, you get a Relentless Discipline point. On a 4+. Okay. And if Horrek Venzi is your army's general, he has the Twisted Challenge command trait from Battletome Ossiarch Bonereapers. Okay. I think I'll go and grab my Ossiarch Bonereaper stuff. Artifact of Power. If Horrek Venzi is included in your army, he must be the first liege to receive an Artifact of Power, which means he must be given the Nadir Bound Mount Artifact of Power from Battletome Ossiarch Bonereapers. So this one is the bonus. Rally Back command ability. We'll have to check out what exactly that one did. But these two are just forcing you to use stuff that you already have. So on a 4+, you receive 1 Relentless Discipline point. The Relentless Discipline points are definitely important for Ossiarch Bonereapers, but how often do you want to use the Rally Back command ability is the question. Alright. Ossiarch Lords, by the way, is what you have to choose in case you have forgotten. Let's just check out what the Ossiarch Lords was. They run and still charge later in the same turn. Yeah, and these guys, and they want them to be the Cavalos Death Rider units, so they can really get across the board in one turn. Okay, so Twisted Challenge must have this command trait anyway, so that's absolutely not different at all, because the Ossiarch Lords normally have to have the Twisted Challenge anyway, and the Nadir Mount is the same. Okay, so it's just the command trait for the Ossiarch Lords, Twisted Challenge and Artifact Power. So really, the only thing is on a 4+, you receive 1 Relentless Discipline point. When you use this ability, and for 120 points. Maybe? You can use this command ability in your movement phase. If you do so, pick one friendly Ossiarch Lords unit that has a mount hand either is wholly within 6 inches of friendly Mortevell Hekatos or is wholly within 12 inches of a friendly Ossiarch Lord's hero, that unit can retreat in that phase and still charge later in the same turn as long as it did not run. Why do you want to retreat all the time, though? So you can charge, probably. Kavalos Death Riders. Keep charging. There's a Mortevell Hekatos, so you will already have a Mortevell Hekatos within your group for when they do that command ability. Aha, here it is. This is the reason that they want to retreat and then go back. If the unmodified hit roll for an attack made with this unit's Netherite blades or Netherite spears is 6, that attack scores 2 hits on the target instead of 1. Make a wound and save roll for each hit. For attacks made with Netherite spears, 2 hits are scored on 5+ instead of 6 if this unit made a charge move in the same turn, which means you're getting double hits with spears on 5+. That would be a reason to retreat and then charge again. You can use this command ability when a friendly Kavalos Death Riders unit that includes a Mortevell Hekatos finishes a charge move. Another reason to do it then. You can pick one enemy unit within 1 inch of that Kavalos Death Riders unit and roll a number of dice equal to the number of models in that Kavalos Death Riders unit. For each 5+, the enemy suffers 1 mortal wound. In addition, in the following command phase, the Kavalos Death Rider units can move an extra 3 inches when it piles in. So that'd be a pretty big reason to use this. And then, in addition, on a 4+, you receive 1 Relentless Discipline. So for 120 points, on a 4+, you receive 1 Relentless Discipline point. I think I would probably just grab, instead of 120 points there, I would probably get 180, grab Mortison Soul Reaper, perhaps. I think I probably want to save up those points and use them somewhere else. I'm thinking. Let's just put that away. Yeah, alright. Lumineth Realm-Lords. Okay. Oh, it looks like it has a little explanation here. That's nice. To coincide with the release of Broken Realms Teclis, we have greatly expanded the number of Lumineth Realm-Lords models that are available, allowing you to field all of the Lumineth Realm-Lords units that took part in the events described in this book. Sections of Broken Realms Teclis have all the background, rules, and other information you need to add those units to your Lumineth Realm-Lords army. If you own the first edition of Battletome Lumineth Realm-Lords, you can use these rules alongside your copy of the Battletome. If you own the second edition of Battletome Lumineth Realm-Lords, then the following rules will already be included in your book. Background, Light Incarnate, the armies of the Realm-Lords. Okay, so we have Illumina, the Indomitable, Helen, Children of the Solar Winds, Alania and Elia, Thor, Champions of the Cenari. These are all the various information about the models that you'll be able to play. Venari Lord Regents, Venari Blade Lords, Venari Star Shard, Ballistas, Upon the Killing's Winds of Hish, Hurricane Wind Mages, Hurricane Wind Chargers, the Gale Maid Manifest, Severith, Lord of the Seven Winds, and the Purple Gold White. Oh, look at that. Very nice. All these. This color scheme is pretty. Pretty. Facing some Skaven. Light Incarnate. That's that new model. All these new models. Alright. Venari Bannerblade. Okay. all these models. Cool. Now, since I've already gone over all of this, when I did the Lumineth Realm-Lords Book 1, I'm just going to go over to... I'm just going to skip these guys. So let's go through these. There's only 3 different ones right now, but why not? When you make a pile and move with a Hurricane model, it does not have to finish the move at least as close. It's like the move at the wind ability. It does not have to finish the move at least as close to the nearest enemy model. In addition, when you make a pile and move with a Hurricane model, if you made a charge move in the same turn, it can fly and make an extra 3 and move an extra 3 inches when it's piled in, which is quite nice. The command traits for the Hurricane Wind Mage General is either Grand Wind Rider. Replace this general's Wind Leap ability with, if a friendly Wind Charger's unit starts a move wholly within 24 inches of this general, when it makes that move, that unit has the move characteristic of 16 inches and can fly. That's probably pretty nice. Add 3 to the general's move characteristic as Swift, or if this general is a wizard, they know 1 extra spell, so they have an extra spell. Great. We'll check that out when we get to the 3 things. Artifacts of Power, Gift of the Winds, Hurricane Wind Mages. Either the Wind Blast Fan, a fan, cute. Once per battle at the start of the enemy movement phase, you can pick 1 enemy unit within 3 inches of the bearer. That unit must make a normal move and must retreat. What? Once per battle? That's cool. Must make a normal move and must retreat. That could mess someone up. Off you go. No Scarbrand. You don't get to fight this time right now. At the start of the enemy movement phase. Cool. No, off you go. Windstone. Once per battle in your shooting phase, you can pick 1 enemy unit within 18 inches of the bearer that is visible to them and roll a dice. On a 1, nothing happens. On a 2 to 4, that unit suffers 3 mortal wounds. Once per battle in your shooting phase. On a 5+, that unit suffers D6 mortal wounds. It's a nice little artifact of power. Yes, it could possibly not happen, but it's likely to do at least 3 wounds to an enemy unit visible. That's nice. That's a nice artifact. Buffeting Aspergillum. Roll a dice each time you allocate a wound or mortal wound to the bearer. On a 5+, that wound or mortal wound is needed. Also very nice. Spell lores. Let's see. What kind of spells do you have? Teclis knows all the spells. Wow, he just knows every single spell. Of course he would. He's Teclis. Makes you really... Oh my gosh. Teclis. You're ridiculous. I mean, you're also ridiculously expensive, but so ridiculous. Freezing Squall. Freezing Squall has a casting value of 5. If successfully cast, pick 1 enemy unit within 12 inches of the caster that is visible to them. That unit cannot run. Cool. In your next hero phase. Howling Gale. Howling Gale has a casting value of 7. If successfully cast, pick 1 enemy unit within 12 inches of the caster that is visible to them. That unit cannot use or benefit from command abilities into your next hero phase. That could be quite interesting. Guiding Flurries. Wow. Oh my gosh. If you're using Teclis, though, you have to, like, remember every single possible spell lore. Okay? Just saying beforehand, if you're using Teclis, get yourself some quick way of reading all the spell lores. You should try and figure out what you're going to do with Teclis when it comes to spells before your turn. Because reading through every single spell on your turn is going to be very impolite. Don't do that. Figure it out. Figure out your favorite ones. Alright. Howling Gale. Howling Gale has a casting... I already did that one. Guiding Flurries. Guiding Flurries has a casting value of 7. If successfully cast, pick 1 friendly Lumineth Realm-Lords unit armed with missile weapons that is wholly within 12 inches of the caster and visible to them. Then say if the spell lofts missiles or directs missiles. If the spell lofts the missiles until your next hero phase, add 6 to the range. Cool. Until your next hero phase. Nice. If the spell directs the missiles, add 1 to the hit rolls. Well, that's a nice one. And remember, there's plenty of ways to reduce the casting value of stuff so that something like 7, which is not as easily viable, would be 6 or 5, perhaps. Nice. Guiding Flurry seems like a nice choice. Calming Zephyr. Calming Zephyr has a casting value of 6. If successfully cast, pick one friendly Lumineth Realm-Lords unit wholly within 18 inches of the caster that is visible to them. You can heal up to D3 wounds allocated to that unit. In addition, do not take battle test shocks for that unit until your next hero phase. In which case, great. Yeah. D3 allocated to the unit. In addition, do not take battle tests. Okay, so you could heal little 2-man groups or 3-man groups. The 3-man groups generally don't have to take battle shock tests, but the 2-man groups could. So healing 1 up so it's not wounded, even though it's only 1 wound that you're healing, would be worth not having to take battle shock tests. But of course, this is all on your turn. Ah, neat. Burning Simoom. Okay. Burning Simoom has a casting value of 6. If successfully cast, pick one enemy unit within 12 inches of the caster that is visible to them and roll a number of dice equal to the number of models in that unit. Ooh. For each 6, that unit suffers 1 mortal wound. If the casting roll is 10 or more, then that unit suffers 1 mortal wound for each 5+ instead of 6. That's nice. That is a nice little ability. Within 12 inches. That's not so bad. Yeah, that's alright. Pick one enemy unit. Transporting Vortex. Transport Vortex has a casting value of 8. Ouch. If successfully cast, pick one friendly Lumineth Realm-Lords unit wholly within 12 inches of the caster that is visible to them. Remove that. Oh, you get to teleport people around. Okay. Remove that unit from the battlefield and set it up more than 9 inches away from any enemy units. It cannot move in the next movement phase. That's fine. You can get to teleport guys around. That could be very useful. At casting value of 8, I'd certainly suggest making certain you have something that reduces casting values. Cool. Alright, now we're the shrine. You can include 1 shrine after territories have been chosen, but before armies are set up, you must set up the Shrine Luminor wholly within your territory, more than 1 inch from any other terrain features, that's not so bad, and more than 6 inches from any objectives with where any objectives will be located at the start of the first battle round. Yeah, okay, 1 inch is away from terrain features, not bad at all. So, what does this really neat looking terrain feature do? Okay. Shrine Luminor is a single terrain feature that can be garrisoned, and it describes garrison here. The garrison of Shrine Luminor can be a single Lumineth Realm-Lords hero sister model that is not Luminor's Realm-Lords hero model that is not a monster and does not have a mount. The garrison is referred to as the feature's Shrine Guardian in the following rules. Okay. Once per turn, you can reroll casting, dispelling, or unbinding rolls for a friendly Lumineth Realm-Lords hero that is within 12 inches of this terrain feature. Within 12 inches? That's nice. Reroll 1 casting, dispelling, or once per turn. 1 casting, dispelling, or unbinding spell. That's super nice. It's not like wholly within, it's within 12 inches of this terrain feature. Wow, cool. From the second battle round in your hero phase, if this terrain feature has a Shrine Guardian, the realm hero, yeah, you can say that they will channel the Shrine's power. If you do so, add 12 inches to the range of this ability. Cool. There's a lot of casting going around in the Lumineth So nice. Once per turn, you can use a command ability with this terrain feature Shrine Guardian without command point being spent. Okay, so you really want to put someone in there that has a command point or a command ability worth using. La, da, 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 da. Great Nation of Illumnia, Great Nation of Helen. So 2 new Great Nations. Let's have a look at them then. After armies are set up, but before the first battle round begins, up to 3 friendly Illumnia Venari or Illumnia Cenari units can make a normal move but cannot run. That's very nice. Oh, that's up to 3. Set up before the first... Yeah, very nice. Command trait. An Illumnia general must have this command trait instead of the ones listed on pages 126 or 128 or in Battletome Lumineth Realm-Lords. Burning Gaze. At the start of the combat phase, you can pick one enemy unit within 3 inches of this general and visible to them and roll a dice. On a 2+, that enemy unit suffers 1 mortal wound. At the start of the combat phase, you can pick one enemy within 3 inches and visible to them on a 2+ that suffers 1 mortal wound. Cool. Just 1 enemy unit, but 1 mortal wound on a 2+. Generally, definitely going to happen. Seize the moment. You can use this command ability in your charge phase. If you do so, pick 1 friendly Illumnia unit that ran in that turn. That unit can charge in that charge phase. Cool. That's nice too. Wow. Really about getting up there very quickly. Cool, that's nice. Artifact of Power, Waystone. Once per battle in your movement phase, instead of making a normal move with the bearer, you can pick a point. Receive an artifact must be given. The first Illumina hero, so this one has to be given out first, as normal. You can pick a point on the battlefield within 12 inches of them. If you do so, remove the bearer and then set them up again within 1 inch of that point and more than 3 away from any enemy units. Wow, normally it's more than 9 inches away. This is only 3 inches away. That's powerful. Like that Waystone. Illumnia Hero. Imagine sending your really big guy off to be within 3 inches away from enemy units. Or more than 3 inches away from enemy units. Wow, once in your movement phase. That's nasty. That's a powerful Waystone. A powerful little artifact. Cool. Something to think about for that. Great Nation of Helen or Helen. Helenites. Helenites. Helen? I'm going with Helen. Add 1 to the attack's characteristic of missile weapons used by Helen models that are within 3 inches of an enemy unit. That's kind of cool. Normally those who are great with missile weapons would not be so good in melee, but if you add 1 to the attack's characteristic of missile weapons used by Helen models that are within 3 inches of an enemy unit, it gives back a benefit and maybe they won't die as fast. Or they'll just be super powerful if they're already super powerful. Command trait. Oh, by the way, this metal is Stormhost Silver. I think that was probably the metal used on some of these pretty luminous, so I added it to my finger so you can see what it looks like. Stormhost Silver. Shiny! Alright. A Helen General must have this command trait instead of any other. Sky Race Grand Champion. Once per battle, you can reroll 1 run roll and 1 charge roll and 1 casting roll for this general. Nice. Command ability, Gone Like the Wind. You can use this command ability at the end of the combat phase. If you do so, pick 1 friendly Helen unit that fought in that phase and is wholly within 12 inches of a friendly Helen hero. That unit can make a normal move but cannot run. It can retreat. Huh. Okay. That's nice. A Helen unit that fought in that phase. Okay. Sure. Artifact of Power, Metallith Dust. Once per battle at the start of the combat phase, you can pick 1 enemy unit within 3 inches of the bearer. If you do so, subtract 1 from hit rolls and wound rolls for the attacks made by that unit until the end of the phase. That's nice. Artifact once per battle. That's just once per battle, though. I don't know. Seems like this one is the more powerful one. Yeah. That's, I guess, pretty nice. But why would your archers go into battle anyway? I mean, that's also pretty nice. I don't know. I think I like these ones. Between the two of them, you let me know. You let me know what you think and why. Scouring Wind Battlefield. Scouring Wind. Path to Glory. Creating a warband. Cool. Lumineth Realm-Lords Warband tables. I think we're... Oh, a Warscroll for Lumineth Battle Host. That wasn't in the previous one. Let's have a look. This looks like it's a big one. Venari Lord Regent. A Venari Banner Blade. 0 to 3 Cenari Heroes. 0 to 1 Alarith Temple. 0 to 1 Hercurin Temple. 1 to 2 Auroran Legions, 1 to 2 Dawn Rider Lance, 1 Blade Lord Host, and 1 Star Shard Battery. What does this enormous battle host do? If this battalion is part of your army at the start of your hero phase, roll a dice for each hero from this battalion that is on the battlefield. For each 6, you receive 1 extra command point. Cool. Hercurin Temple uses Severith, Lord of the Seventh Wind, or 1 Hecaran Spirit of the Wind, 1 Hecaran Wind Mage, and 1 to 3 units of Hecaran Wind Chargers. Whirling Tornadoes. If a unit from this battalion is wholly within 12 inches of a hero from the same battalion at the start of the combat phase, the models in that unit count as having made a charge move in the same turn. Well, that's handy. This means that when they pile in, these models can fly and move an extra 3 inches as described in the Move Like the Wind battle trait without actually having to have made a charge move in the same turn. Cool. Extra 3 inches piling in. Cool. That could be very handy to get control of the battlefield. Star Shard Battlefield. 1 Cenari Caligrave, 3 to 5 units of Venari Star Shards. If a Star Shard Ballista's unit from this battalion is within 3 inches of another Star Shard's Ballista unit from the same battalion, replace its Warding Lanterns ability with roll a dice each time you allocate a wound or mortal wound to this unit. If it has not made a move in the same turn on a 5+, that wound or mortal wound is negated. In addition, add 1 to the attack's characteristic of this unit's Star Shard bolts if it has not made a move in the same turn. That sounds really nice. I guess we'll have to see what the original Warding Lanterns ability is. Well, let's just scoot over there. Star Shard Ballista, the really cool looking ballista. Ballista. Star Shard Ballista is just happening like at the Warden Lanterns. Roll a dice each time you allocate. On a 6, that wound or one rolls. In addition, add 1 to the attack's unit if it has not made a move turn. So it's just on a 5+ instead of 6+? On a 5+, yeah. Instead of 6+. Wound or mortal wound. On a wound or mortal wound. So just increasing it to 5+ instead of 6+. Which is always handy. Depending on how much that Warscroll battalion costs. It costs Star Shard Battery. 120 points. Maybe. 4 additional 5+ within 3 inches of each other. It depends on how much of a target these guys are going to be. We're going to find out to see what they do. If they do a heck of a lot of damage, that means they're going to be a target, and this might be more useful. We'll see. Blade Lord Host. Calculated response. First, 1 Venari or Cenari hero, 2 to 3 units of Venari Blade Lords. Okay, you can reroll hit rolls of 1 for attacks made with melee weapons by units from this battalion that target an enemy unit that has made a charge move in the same turn. Okay, very specific, but nice, I guess. Okay, so we've got Luriel Ulthrall, a new hero. Yeah, a new named character. Venari Lord Regent, Venari Banner Blade, Venari Star Shard Ballistas, Venari Blade Lord, Cenari Caligrave, Cenari Lore Seeker, Eliana and Elathor, Hurricane Wind Mage, and Hurricane Wind Chargers, and Severeth, Lord of the Seventh Wind. That funky fella. Okay. Let's do it. You... Oh, you're the really cool guy, aren't you? On the horse? Or there he is. Yeah, there he is. This fella. Who looks awesome. Completely awesome. He's lovely. Has to be a Metrica, which is fine. I liked a Metrica. I'll link all the videos I have for the Lumineth in the description below and give you a timestamp if you want to skip by the box set, which is no longer available, and just go right into the codex. I'll tell you the timestamp for that. Okay. 16-inch movement. Very nice. 6 wounds, 9 bravery, 3+ save. Pretty standard. 16-inch movement is a bit faster. Bit faster than the guys on mounts. That's fast. 6 wounds and 3+ saves and 9 bravery is pretty standard for a hero on a mount. He is armed with a Demon Bane and a Regent's Sword, and his mount, Feral, attacks with his horns and claws. So Demon Bane, when it's in range, when it's missile, is 18 inches, 1 attack. That's harsh, but it's pretty normal for only 1 attack. 2+ to hit, 2+ to wound, Ren -2, D3 damage. All you have to do is attack. Or all you have to do is hit, and it's 2+, so you should be fine. Should be fine to hit. 2+, that's nice. That's a nice little missile. It's going to be more often than you want, but 2+ should hit. Should hit. You should be able to do D3 damage with this weapon for sure. Melee weapons. Demon Bane, 3-inch range, 1 attack, 2+ to hit, 2+ to wound, Ren -2, D3 damage. Wow, look at all these 2+s. That's awesome. Regent's Sword, 1 inch, 5 attacks. That's nice. 2+ to hit, 3+ to wound, Ren -1, 1 damage. That's good. Horns and Claws, 1 inch, 4 attacks, 3+ to hit, 4+ to wound, no rend, 1 damage. That's super nice. Yeah, that's a powerful thing. How much are you, mister? How much are you? I should move you out of the way so you stop knocking. Alright. Luriel Ulthrall. He's 210. Yeah, okay. 210. Alright, Demon Bane has extra abilities. The damage inflicted by a successful attack made with Demon Bane is 3 instead of D3 if the target has the Chaos or Demon keywords. Cool. Purest Aether Quartz. Subtract 1 from hit rolls for attacks that target this model, and add 1 to the casting roll when it attempts to cast greater power of Heesh. Okay, yeah. If this model is part of a Lumineth Realm-Lords army and uses its last Aether Quartz reserve, this ability cannot be used by this model for the rest of the battle. Okay. Sun Metal Weapons. If the unmodified hit roll for an attack made with the Regent's Sword is 6, that attack inflicts 1 mortal wound on the target and the attack sequence ends. That's easy enough then. Cool. And there's, it's 5 attacks, so it wouldn't be too surprising if you got a 6. And it's only that attack that inflicts the mortal wound and ends all the other rolls get to keep going. Alright, Voice of Tyrion. If this model is part of your army and on the battlefield at the start of your hero phase, and Teclis is not part of your army, roll a dice. On a 2+, you receive 1 command point. Cool. Neat. A reason not to put Teclis in your army, though Teclis was pretty powerful. It's funny that they don't have Teclis in here. I mean, I suppose it makes sense, but it's kind of like someone didn't know what they were going. It's like, okay, I'm gonna grab Teclis, and then they look and Teclis is not in here. There's no need for him to be in here, but it's funny that he's not in here. Gotta say. This model is a wizard. 2+ you receive 1 command point. It's always nice. And on the battlefield at the start of your hero phase. Yeah. Extra command points are lovely. But it can attempt to cast 1 spell in your hero phase and attempt to unbind 1 spell. It knows the Greater Power of Hysh spell. Greater Power of Hysh. Greater Power of Hysh has a casting value of 7. If successfully cast, pick up to D3 friendly Lumineth Realm-Lords units with the Sun Metal Weapons ability that are wholly within 18 inches of the caster and invisible to them. Until your next hero phase, the Sun Metal Weapons ability of these units causes mortal wounds to be inflicted on unmodified hit roll of 5+ instead of 6. Well, that's super nice. Sun Metal Weapons. There's a whole bunch of people with Sun Metal Weapons. Yeah, like the Venari Blainer Blade, Sun Metal Weapons. Venari Lord Regent, Sun Metal Weapons. Venari Starshard Ballistas. Probably not Sun Metal. Yeah, not Sun Metal. Venari Blade Lords. Nope. Sonari Caligrave. No. Sonari Lore Seeker. No. But there's other people with Sun Metal Weapons. Nope. Wind Mage. Probably not. Hurricane Wind Chargers. Probably not. Yeah, I guess all the other Sun Metal weapons are in the other book. Okay. Nice. Alright. Venari Lord Regent. Ooh, another fast one. 14 inches movement, 6 wounds, 3+ to save, 8 bravery. He also has a Regent Sword, which is 5 attacks, still 2+ to hit, 3+ to wound, rend -1, 1 damage, the same as the other fellow's Regent Sword, which means mount. This model's light courser attacks with its horns and claws. That creature's name is the Light Courser. Cool. Purest Aether Quartz. Subtract 1 from hit rolls for attacks that target this model and add 1 to the casting roll when it attempts to cast Greater Power of Hysh. So, okay. How much are you? Venari Lord Regent, who's basically a unnamed version of Lyrio. 150. So for an additional 60 points, you get Lyrio, who's a Metrica only. But you can get to have him if he's not an Ametrica. Yeah, it's pretty standard. So Purest Aether Quartz, Sun Metal Weapons, Greater Power of Hysh, Lumineth, we already read all that. So the difference between that is he moves an extra 2 inches. And he has got Demon Bane, which is a big bonus. Well, it's only one. It's only 2 extra attacks, but it's an additional 2d3 possible damage. And it has the Voice of Tyrion, where you'll likely be gaining extra command points. And possibly instead of 2d3, just 6 extra damage, possible damage, versus chaos or demons. So cool. Oh, he's such a good looking model though. Venari Bannerblade. Where's Tyrion? Where's Tyrion coming? Distracted. Venari Bannerblade. One with the enormous banner. I hope there's no wind for them. Venari Bannerblade, 110 points, 6-inch movement, 5 wounds, 8 bravery, 3+ save. Bannerblade Sword, 1-inch range, 4 attacks, 2+ to hit, 3+ to wound, rend -1, 1 damage. So basically the same as the Regent Sword, but with one less attack. Okay. World Banner. What does this enormous one do? Add 1. I hope that's not all that it does. Add 1 to the bravery characteristic of friendly Lumineth Realm-Lord units that are wholly within 18 inches of any friendly banner blades. Add 3 instead of 1 if any of those banner blades is within 3 inches of any enemy units. Interesting. Interesting. we just read something that this would like be entirely useless if you're in that Cities of Sigmar group that says don't take battle shock tests. Oh, there's an additional thing. I gave up too fast. If, in addition, once per battle at the start of any phase, you can say that this model will draw on the power of its world banner. If you do so, roll a dice for each enemy unit within 18 inches of this model. If the roll is equal to or less than the number of the current battle round, that unit suffers D3 mortal wounds and subtract 1 from hit rolls for that unit until the end of that phase. Cool. That's a banner. For within 18 inches. That's not too difficult to happen. If the roll is equal to or less than the number of the current battle round. So you do it on the first battle round, equal to or less to, it's going to happen. That unit suffers D3 mortal wounds. That'd be pretty handy to get this guy out there fast. Which you can do. There was one of those things that made you move extra. So the claim of the field. After armies are set up before the first round runs, up to 3 friendly Venari or Sonari can make a normal move. Cannot run. Venari. You're a Venari. So you could scoot on in there, run up, get within 18 inches of something. So move 6. And then, once per battle, it's the start of any phase. Move 6 again. 12 inches. All depends, but it'd be pretty neat if you could move them up. This seems like a target. Actually, it'd be a target that you want them to choose. It'd be like, oh no, so scary. I'm going to shoot at this lonely little miniature instead of all the other things that are more important. This is... He's literally holding up a big target. But you gotta do something about him because he's gonna make all your guys do D3 mortal wounds. And subtract 1 from hit rolls for that unit until the end of that phase. I guess that's not necessarily as bad. I'd probably go for shooters. Run! Run! Gonna run them up the battlefield and go for those really nasty missile weapons. And then be shot down to obliteration really quickly. I don't know what I'd do with him. He's interesting though. And he's got sun metal weapons. I don't know what I'd do with him. He's cool. Alright, I'm actually quite excited about these Starshard Ballistas. 5 wounds, 6-inch movement, 5+ save, 6 bravery. It has Starshard bolts, 30-inch range, 2 attacks, any number of models, each armed with Starshard bolts and arming swords. 2 attacks, 3+ to hit, 3+ to wound, rend -2, 2 damage each, okay. Arming swords, 1 inch, 2 attacks, 3+ to hit, 4+ to wound, no rend, damage 1. I assume you are up to 3 or something. No, 1. Why does it say any number? A unit of Venari Starshard Ballistas has any number of models, each armed with Starshard, but any number or just 1, for 100 points. Any number of models. Sure it does. Blinding bolts. Once per battle, when you pick this unit to shoot, you can say that it will fire its blinding bolts. If you do so, units that are hit by an attack made by this unit in that phase are dazzled until the end of the turn. Subtract 1 from hit rolls for a unit that is dazzled. A unit cannot be dazzled more than once per turn. That's cool. Once per battle. That's nice though. Don't forget to use it. It's totally good. Messenger Hawk. Oh yeah. At the start of your shooting phase, you can pick 1 enemy unit within 24 inches of a friendly Realm-Lords hero and pick 1 friendly Starshard's Ballista unit within 24 inches of that hero. That should be pretty easy to pull off. If you do, if you do so, add 1 to hit rolls for attacks made by that Star Shards Ballista unit that targets that enemy unit until the end of the phase. Cool. He's a scout. Use your little Lord's hero as a scout. Maybe this one, since he's running up the battlefield anyway. And give him +1 to attack. No, sorry, +1 to hit rolls. Cool. Warding lanterns. Ah, yes. Right. On a 6+ mortal wound or wound is negated. And in addition, add 1 to the attacks characteristic of this unit's star. Roll a dice each time you allocate a wound or mortal wound to this unit. If it is not made a move in the same turn on a 6, that wound or mortal wound is negated. In addition, add 1 to the attacks characteristic of this unit's Star Shard bolts if it has not made a move in the same turn. Hold on. In addition. So every time... Wait, what? Every time the crew of a Star Shard Ballista carry deployable Aether Quartz lanterns that aid accuracy and dazzle attackers. Roll a dice each time you allocate a wound. On a 6, that wound or mortal wound is. In addition, add 1 to the attacks characteristic of this unit's Star Shard bolts if it has not made a move. This feels like there should be a separation of by a paragraph. These should be 2 different paragraphs. Otherwise, it reads as if every time you roll a 6 and you negate a mortal wound or mortal wound, you add an additional attack. I don't think they meant to do it like that. I imagine it just means if you haven't moved, you get 1 to attacks. But that should totally be on a different paragraph. Because that would be cool. You want to take down my light lanterns? Well, every time I negate a wound, I get a 1 to an attacks. As long as I didn't move. That doesn't exactly make sense. It doesn't suggest it in the fluff. Aid accuracy and dazzle attackers. Deployable Aether Quartz lanterns. On the other hand, it's deployable Aether Quartz lanterns. So maybe that's what it actually does mean. If you get a 6, that wound or mortal wound is in addition add. Yeah, I guess if it wasn't every time that 6 happens, it wouldn't be in addition. Would it? So it is on a 6. Negated. Also add 1 to the attacks if it hadn't moved. Okay. I didn't believe it, but that seems to be the case. That's kind of cool. If you could get really lucky and do all sorts of attacks. If I'm reading that correctly, which I think I am. Maybe. Probably. Think so. Venari Blade Lords. 2 wounds each. Nice. 2 wounds each. Okay. How many guys can be in there? Venari Blade Lords. Venari Blade Lords. 5 to 15. Okay, figured. 120 points for 5. For each Venari hero included in your army, you can take 1 Venari Blade Lords unit as a battle line unit. Sure. Alright, so these are the Stormcast Eternal dudes. For 2 wounds each. 2 wounds each, 6-inch movement, 4+ save, 7 bravery. You can have a unit of Venari Blade Lords has any number of models, each armed with a Sun Metal Great Blade. The Blade Lord Seneschal is the special guy. 1 model can be a Blade Lord Seneschal. 1 model. It doesn't say 1 model in every 5. It says 1 model, which means I don't really see a good reason not to have 3 units of 5 instead of 1 unit of 15. 1 model in this unit can be a Blade Lord Seneschal. That model is armed with a Sun Metal Great Blade or Sun Metal Dual Blades. Great Blade, Sun Metal Dual Blades. Add 1 to the attacks characteristic. A blade lords of a blade. Add 1 to the attacks characteristic. It should be of a blade lord Seneschal's Sun Metal Great Blade. Okay. Guardians. We're gonna go ahead and read this shortly, but since I see below, I'm gonna read this part first. Guardians, roll a dice before you allocate a wound or mortal wound to a friendly Sonari model within 3 inches of any friendly units with this ability. On a 2+, you must allocate that wound or mortal wound to a friendly unit with this ability within 3 inches of that model instead of that model. Cool, it's nice. Soaks up wounds, which is lovely. Swordmasters, before fighting with this unit, choose either the Perfect Strike or Flurry of Blows, Sun Metal Great Weapons characteristics. All of the models in the unit armed with Sun Metal Great Blades must use those characteristics when they attack. A Perfect Strike always hits. Huh. It's only 1 attack though. For every 5 models. So that's 5 attacks. 5 hitting. 2+ to wound. Rend -1, 1 damage each. That's pretty awesome. It's pretty scary, actually, facing against that. That's cool. A Flurry of Blows has an attacks characteristic. So, Perfect Strike always hits. A Flurry of Blows has an attacks characteristic equal to the number of enemy models within 2 inches of the attacking model. That's a lot of counting. And it's only 3+, 3+, no rend, 1 damage. I mean, I guess. Say you are facing a whole lot of, it says within 2 inches of the attacking model. Say you're facing a swarm of Nighthaunt. If you're facing a swarm of Nighthaunt, rend does not matter. In which case, the Flurry of Blows may be the way to go. So you just choose it. You just choose what you want. Now, Sun Metal Dual Blades. 1 inch instead of 2 inches. 2 inches is quite nice, so would you choose? 3 attacks, 2+ to hit, 3+ to wound, rend -1, 1 damage. In this case, I see no good reason not to give him a Great Blade as well because of the always hitting. I don't see the 2 extra attacks, 2 extra possible attacks being worthwhile to give him the Sun Metal Dual Blades. And you get an additional attack characteristic for the Blade Lord Seneschal Sun Metal Great Blade. So, Swordmasters, Perfect Strike, Great Blade. Yeah, I don't see any reason to give him the Dual Blades instead of just another Great Blade. Vanashamore Banners. Each time this unit is affected by a spell or endless spell, you can roll a dice on a 4+. Ignore the effects of that spell or endless spell of this unit. Wow, this is really nice. This is such a great group. And they are pretty cool, really nice looking too, with their lovely great swords. There are Helen, Alumnia, Lithia, the different various Blade Lords. That's what they're really looking like. Nice great blades. Yeah. These are quite powerful, and you said how much were they? Per 5? 120 points per 5? Let's see. 120 points per 5. Yeah. I'd totally be using them. Absolutely. Yep, definitely. Okay. Sonari Caligrave. And yeah, they're great. 5 wounds, 6 movement, 5+ save, 7 bravery. Caligrave Blade. 3-inch range, D3 attacks, 3+ to hit, 3+ to wound, rend -1, D3 damage. Okay, so pretty good. He's a wizard. Realm Scribe. Once per battle in your hero phase, instead of attempting to cast any spells with one friendly model with this ability, you can roll a dice. Add the number of the current battle round to the roll on a 5+, pick a point anywhere on the battlefield. This is once per battle. For the rest of the battle, do not take battle shack tests for friendly Lumineth Realm-Lords units that are wholly within 9 inches of that point, and add 1 to casting, dispelling, and unmind rolls for friendly Lumineth Realm-Lord wizards that are within 9 inches of that point. You want a little little thing to put down this Realm Scribe ability, I think, for sure. Maybe a little scroll or something, which should be really easy to make. Just get some little paper and cover it in tea and have a little tiny bow and just put it down. This is my Realm Scribe. Well, that'll be cute. Alright, once per battle, roll a dice. So on a 5+, so in the last battle round, it's sure to go ahead. And battle round 4, it's also really likely to go ahead. Battle round 3, also pretty likely to go ahead. Battle round 2, yeah, fairly likely. I think I'd probably go for battle round 3, just because it'd be a pain if it didn't happen. This model is a wizard. It can attempt to cast 1 spell in your hero phase and attempt to unbind 1 spell in the enemy hero phase. It knows the Arcane Bolt, Mystic Shield, and Eraser spells. Erasure has a casting value of 7. Did I already do this? No. If successfully cast, pick 1 enemy hero within 24 inches of the caster. You can either inflict D3 wounds on that hero or mark them for erasure. However, if that hero is already marked for erasure, then instead they suffer D6 more wounds and they are no longer marked for erasure. That's super nasty. How much did you cost? Did I look you up? Caligrave, 100 points. Cool. Taking out a hero. Maybe with a casting value 7, but then even himself can bring it down. Cool. Neat little guy. Sonari Loremaster. 6 wounds. Oh, is he up somewhere? Lore Seeker, actually. Lore Seeker. Are you standing somewhere? Why do you have 6 wounds? There it is. Sonari Lore Seeker. I don't know why you've got extra wound, but alright. We'll go with it. Sonari Lore Seeker. 6 inch movement, 4+ save, 8 bravery, 6 wounds. You have an Eclipsean Staff and a Lore Seeker Blade. The Eclipsean Staff has a 12-inch range, 2 attacks, 3+ to hit, 3+ to wound, Ren -2, D3 damage. So nice. Lore Seeker Blade, 1-inch range, 4 attacks, 2+ to hit, 3+ to wound, Ren -1, D3 damage. That's nice. How much do you cost? I don't even know what your abilities are. Sonari Lore Seeker, so 160. And you're unique. Okay. Lore Seeker. If an enemy model that bears an artifact of power is slain within 3 inches of any friendly models with this ability, you receive 1 command point. Okay. Lone Agent. You can add 1 to save rolls for attacks that target this model if it is more than 9 inches from any friendly models. Cool. Alright. In addition, instead of setting up this model on the battlefield, you can place it to one side and say that it is set up as a Lone Agent Reserve unit. If you do so at the start of the first battle round, before determining who has the first turn, you must set up this model on the battlefield anywhere that is more than 3 inches from any enemy unit, and not in your territory. So set it up more than 3 inches, not in your territory. If you set this model within 6 inches of an objective that has no enemy units within 6 inches of it, you gain control of that objective, and your opponent cannot gain control of it while this model is within 6 inches of it. Very nasty. No, you can't do that. I don't see why you wouldn't want to do that, really. 6 wounds. He's got an additional attack. He's got an additional wound, so he'll survive for a little bit. you can add 1 to save rolls for attacks, so 3+ save if you're more than 9 inches away from any friendly models, which certainly can happen with your lone agent. 3+ save, 6 wounds. This model is a wizard. It can attempt to cast 1 spell in your hero phase and attempt to unbind 1 spell in the enemy hero phase. Another reason it would be annoying to the opponent. It knows Arcane Bolt and Mystic Shield spells. If it did the Mystic Shield on itself because no one else is in range of its abilities, I'd be reroll save rolls of 1, 3+ save. Cool. I like this guy. He's nasty. Gains you command points. Quite situationally. I like him though. He can handle himself for a little while. I mean, he's probably going to be shot down pretty quickly. He's like, he is a super target. I'd use him. I'd use him. Elania and Elathor, the Eclipsean War Sages. 8 wounds. 6-inch movement. 8 bravery, 3+ save. Why wouldn't they be 10 wounds, since all the other guys are like 5 wounds? I guess they're too... Well, they're, you know, I guess they're still... it should be 10 wounds. Why are they weaker? Alright. Elania and Elathor are named characters that are a single model. They are armed with the blade, Alteri, and the staff, Dianair. Alteri, 1-inch movement. Are accompanied by a loon owl, Althien, who attacks with their Moonbright talons. Alteri, 4 attacks, 2+ to hit, 3+ to wound, rend -2. Oh, it's the C below. Alteri. The damage characteristic of Alteri is equal to the number of the current battle round. Cool. In addition, once per battle in your shooting phase, you can declare that Elathor will unleash a blazing sunbolt. If you do so, pick 1 point on the battlefield within 12 inches of this model that is visible to it and draw an imaginary line 1 millimeter wide between that point and the closest point on this model's base. Roll a dice for each unit that has any models passed across by this line. Once per battle. On a 2+, that unit suffers a number of mortal wounds equal to the number of the current battle round. Neat. It gets better as it goes. Cool. Dianair, 1-inch, again, 2 attacks, 3+ to hit, 3+ to wound, rend -1, D3 damage, Moonbright Talons, 1-inch, 2 attacks, 3+ to hit, 3+ to wound, rend -1, 1 damage. That's not bad for a little companion. Oops. Aspect of Selenar, add 1 to casting, dispelling, and unbinding rolls for this model. Realm Wanderers, this model can be included as an ally in armies that have an Order General. Ooh. In addition, if this model is within 3 inches of your general at the start of your hero phase, roll a dice. On a 4+, you receive 1 extra command point. However, this model can never be a general. How much do you guys cost? 260 points. This model can be included as an ally in any army that has an Order General. Ooh, 260 points. I'm not certain if I'd put it in with Sylvan Death yet. 260 points. Let's see. What do you do? Sudden Translocation. At the end of the combat phase, roll a dice if this model fought in that phase. If the roll is less than the number of the current battle round or less than the number of wounds allocated to this model, heal up to D6 wounds allocated to this model, then remove it from the battlefield. Then set up this model anywhere on the battlefield that is more than 12 inches from any enemy models. If this is impossible, this model is removed from play but does not count as having been slain. Okay. Sure. At the end of the combat phase, roll dice if this model fought. If the roll is less than the number of the current battle round, or less than the number of wounds allocated to this model. Heal up to d6 wounds allocated to this model, then remove it from the battlefield. Then set up this model anywhere on the battlefield that's more than 12 inches from any enemy models. If this is impossible. Well, it shouldn't be impossible to have it set up within... How many enemy I mean, I guess your opponent could try and spread out themselves so that it can't happen, but that would be very distracting. Which makes you want to kind of play it, because it's very distracting. D6 wounds. Cool. So 3+ save. That's good. This model is a wizard. It can attempt to cast 2 spells in your hero phase and attempt to unbind 2 spells in the enemy hero phase. It knows the Arcane Bolt, Mystic Shield, and Salvation of Hysh spells. And it is Sonari Venari, Emetrica, Hero, Wizard, Eliana, and Elithor. So it has that's possible spells, I guess. A Salvation of Hysh. A Salvation of Hysh has a casting value of 6. If successfully cast until your next hero phase, roll a dice each time a wound or mortal wound is allocated to the caster. On a 5+, that wound or mortal wound is negated. Well, they don't want your guys to die. And you are able to do Arcane Bolt. And that as well. Nice. Oh, owl. Oh my gosh, that's such a fiddly model. Oh my gosh, so fiddly. But pretty cool. Oh my gosh. Hurricane Wind Mage. Now I kind of think maybe I could try it in my Sylvaneth. Or, Stormcast Eternals. Maybe. I'd think about it. Probably try it at least once. Probably. Alariel. Elana and Elithor. Teclis. Oh, contemplation. So much to contemplate. Alright. Hurricane Wind Mage. 16-inch movement. Super fast. 5 wounds, 5+ save, 7 bravery. He has a Aspergillum, 3-inch range, 2 attacks, 3+ hit, 3+ wound, run -1, d3 damage. I mean, it's alright, but he's clearly not meant to go into combat that much. This model can fly. Oh, how much do you cost? Wind Mage. 120, okay. Fan of Redirection. Add 1 to save rolls for attacks made with missile weapons that target this model. In addition, if the unmodified save roll for an attack made with a missile weapon that targets this model is 6, after all of the attacking units' attacks have been resolved, you can inflict 1 mortal wound on an enemy unit within 9 inches of this model that is visible to it. Wow, that's kind of cool. Fan of Redirection. Cool. Add 1 to save rolls with missile weapons that target this model. So 4+. Wind Leap. If a friendly Wind Chargers unit, down below we're going to get to it, starts a move wholly within 6 inches of this model, when it makes that move, that unit has a move characteristic of 16 inches and can fly. Normally it's 14 inches and cannot fly. This one is 16 inches and can fly. And flying should not be underestimated. Being able to move through every single piece of terrain and other models is handy. And it just happens. It doesn't cost you anything. So it's something to think about anyway. This model is a wizard. It can attempt to cast 1 spell in your hero phase and attempt to unbind 1 spell. It knows Arcane Bolt, Mystic Shield, and Wind Blast Vortex. Wind Blast Vortex does a casting value of 5. Is successfully cast in your next shooting phase. You can pick 1 enemy unit within 9 inches of the caster and roll a dice. On a 2+, that enemy unit suffers d3 mortal wounds. So Arcane Bolt is 18 inches, casting value of 5. 1 enemy unit within 18 inches. immediately 1 mortal wound or D3 if it's 10 or more. But on a 2+, this is immediately D3 mortal wounds. And a 2+ is not bad. Yeah. Seems alright. Simple. Okay. Hurricane Wind Chargers. And of course, it also has the other spells options. 14-inch movement, 2 wounds each. How many guys can you have? Are you units of 5? You're probably units of 5. Wind Chargers, 5 to 15, 130 each. Battle line in a Helen army, okay. 130 each for 5. This unit, a unit of Hurricane Wind Chargers, has any number of models, each armed with Wind Charger bow. 2 wounds, 14 movement, 5+ saves, 7 bravery. This unit's tree runners attack with their claws. 1 model in this unit can be a Wind Speaker Seneschal. Add 1 to the attacks characteristic of that model's Wind Charger bow, which means you probably just want to have units of 5 instead of a unit of 15 or 10, so you get an additional Wind Speaker Seneschal. Hurricane Wind Chargers. Their Wind Charger bow is 12-inch range, 2 attacks each, 3+ to hit, 3+ to wound, rend -1, 1 damage. That's alright. Wind Charger bow, 3-inch range, 1 attack, 3+ to hit, 3+ to wound, rend -2, 1 damage. That's surprising for just a bow. Nice. Claws, 1-inch range, 2 attacks, 3+ to hit, 4+ to wound, no rend, 1 damage. That's alright. Standard bearers. 1 in every 5 models in this unit can be a standard bearer. You can reroll Battleshock tests for units that include any standard bearers. Wind Charger arrows do not apply the cover modifier to save rolls for attacks made with a Wind Charger bow. Cool. Go where the wind blows. When this unit makes a move, if you can pass across terrain features... When this unit makes a move, it can pass across terrain features in the same manner as a model that can fly, which means that this is not that relevant at all. 16 inches instead of 14 inches. Not very relevant. I mean, I guess an additional 2 inches is alright. But for over 100 points? I mean, that's nice, though. I don't know. Not sure. These are nice, though. I like those. Be even nicer if the range of the bow was farther. But they have 14 movement, so they can get in there. And lastly, Severith, Lord of the Seventh Wind. There he is. See them? There he is. What in the world do you do? You're a Metrica. Okay. Loves me la a Metrica. Severith, Lord of the Seventh Wind. You have 10 wounds, 24-inch movement, 5+ save, 10 bravery. Why do you only have 5+ save? Yeah. You're going around on wind. Alright. Severith is a named character that is a single model. He is armed with Anathray, the Howling Death, and Swirling Shards. This model can fly. Anathray, the Howling Death, as a missile. 18-inch range, 4 attacks, 2+ to hit, 3+ to wound, rend -3, D3 damage. It's alright, yeah. 2+ to hit, 3+ to wound, rend -3, D3 damage for 4 attacks. I like it. Much better than 1 attack. On an 18-inch range. That's nice. That quiver did something. Melee weapons. Anathrai, the Howling Death, 3-inch, 2 attacks each, 2+ to hit, 3+ to wound, rend -1, D3 damage. Perfect. Swirling Shards. 3-inch range, D3 damage, 3+ to hit, 3+ to wound, rend -1, 1 damage. It's good. Nice amount of damage. 24-inch range. He's gonna get in there. So that's nice. He moves 24 inches. He shoots. He charges in and finishes something off. That can really get across the board fast. Wow. Alright, let's see what else he does. And he flies, so he's not hindered by anything between him and his target. 2 feet across the board. Plus 18 inches on it. Wow. Cool. Oh, how much is he? How much is this crazy guy? Oh, there's one more person. Oh, there's more people. Okay. Pitched battle. Where are you? Severith. 300 points. Not surprised. He's doing a lot. Into the Gale. Roll a dice each time you allocate a wound or a mortal wound. On a 5+, that wound or mortal wound is negated. Cool. In addition, subtract 2 inches from the distance enemy models can pile in to a minimum of 1 inch while they are within 3 inches of this model. Wow. Can't forget that. It's up to you to remember that for when someone's trying to pile in. Cool. Living Cyclone. Roll a dice for each enemy unit within 3 inches of this model after this model makes a charge move. On a 3+, that unit suffers 1 mortal wound, and subtract 1 from hit rolls for that unit until the end of the next combat phase. A unit cannot be affected by this ability more than once per phase. Wow, he's just super nasty in melee. And you can get him into melee and really mess someone up. Cool. Scour. At the start of the charge phase, you can pick one faction terrain feature that is within 1 inch of this model. Okay. If you do so, this model cannot charge in that phase, but you can roll a dice. On a 2+, the scenery rules on that terrain features Warscroll cannot be used for the rest of the battle. What? That's cool. On a 2+, so he turns off Ossiarch Bonereapers shrines and Sylvaneth shrines and oh well, everyone basically has something. Just turns it off. Start of the charge phase. Rest of the battle just moves on in right at the beginning too. At the start of the charge phase. Okay, so he moves on in next to it. Does his shoots. Start of the charge phase. Turns it off on a 2+. If you do so, this model cannot charge in the phase. Okay, sure. That'd be too crazy. On a 2+, the scenery rules cannot be used for the rest of the battle. Well, geez. Designer's note: the terrain feature can still be used to provide cover, and any scenery rules that apply to it which are not on its Warscroll can still be used. Okay. Yeah, I know. I knew what it was meant. This is the crazy stuff. Oh, wow. Cool. Searing Desert Winds. After this model makes a normal move, including if it moves at the end of the shooting phase, pick one enemy unit that has any models that this model passed across and roll a dice. Ow. On a 3+, that unit suffers D3 mortal wounds and it flies, so it just goes willy-nilly over it. Wow. Now, 24 inches, that's kind of hard to lay out if you want to catch all of the enemies. Grab a little thread and move over. This is the way I went. Pick one enemy unit that has any models that this model. Okay, so it's only one. Never mind, it's one enemy. You just decided on the way. On a 3+, that unit suffers D3 or more. It's super nasty. Super nasty. After this model makes a normal move, including if it moves at the end of the shooting phase. Oh, here it is. Spirit of the Wind. At the end of the shooting phase, this model can make a normal move of 12 inches, but cannot run. It can retreat. In addition, this model can retreat and still charge later in the same turn. At the end of the shooting phase. Wow. Oh, that's so nasty. Just, it's like, moves 24 inches. Can you imagine? He moves 24 inches over a unit. 3+ does D3 mortal wounds. Shoots at the same unit. Moves back over him another 12 inches. 3+ unit suffers D3 mortal wounds. Then charges in. And does all that stuff. Wow. He's cool. Super nasty. And, you know, just for funsies, he's got 10 wounds to boot. Now, he only has a save on 5. But on a 5+, he negates the wounds. Oh, and he charges in on a 3+, that unit suffers 1 mortal wound and subtract 1 from hit rolls. What? What is this guy? Gee, Severith. Holy smoke, Severith. Crazy. Wind Mage Symbiosis. In your hero phase, if this model is within 12 inches of any friendly Wind Mages, you can heal up to D3 wounds allocated to this model. So, that makes this guy Wind Mage, the only Wind Mage I think around. The Hurricane Wind Mage says within 12. Not wholly within 12, but within 12. So the Hurricane Wind Mage. And I think, yeah, it's probably only the one Wind Mage. Within... Interesting. And this guy can finish him off too. Wow, they work really well together. So if you're getting Severith, you should get a Hurricane Wind Mage too. Cool. That makes this guy worth getting. And then heals, well, 16-inch movement. Flying as well. And then you might as well get Hurricane Wind Chargers as well. Well, they're good anyway, so yeah. And then you've got all this Hurricane bonuses back at the front. So these really work well, these 3 units. All the Hurricane models have such synergy. Cool. Severith. Now, you are the non-named variant. Yeah. Yeah, non-named variant. So, instead of 10 wounds, it's 8 wounds. Right, how much do you cost? Hurricane, 250. So, dropped by, it's not a leader, and it's dropped by 50 points. So, 24 inches, same. 5+, same. Bravery, same. Wounds down to 8. It has an entirely different, but similar bow. A Hurricane Spirit of the Wind is a single model armed with a Bow of the Wind's Vengeance and Swirling Shards. Swirling Shards are the same. 3 inches, D3, 3+, friend -1. Yeah, the same. Now, Bow of the Wind's Vengeance, 18 inches. 2+, 3+, friend -2, D3 damage. Okay, so Severus Bow is a bit better. It has Ren -3 versus Ren -2. For the ranged attack. 3+, 2+, 2+, 2+, 3+, Ren -2, D3. However, when it's hit in melee, it works exactly the same. So right now, there's only the 2 differences. Ren -2, 8 wounds. And of course, 50 instead of 50 less. Into the Gale, same ability. Which is not surprising because it has the Swirling Shard still. Into the Gale, Living Cyclone. So these first 2 abilities are the same. Within 3 inches. 3 inches. Unit suffers 1 mortal wound and subtract 1 to hit rolls. Yeah, okay. So this is still quite a great model. Spirit of the Wind at the end of the shooting phase. Okay, this is at the end of the shooting phase. This model can make a normal move. Ooh, so we can do that too. Wind Mage Symbiosis. D3. Okay, so safe. So Scour is the difference. Scour as in get rid of a faction terrain feature. So this is still a very viable thing. For 250 points. Cool. Yeah. Nice. Super nice. Is it worth 50 points to get that? Well, also it's Immetrica. This one is not sticking you to Immetrica. So if you want to stick with Immetrica, you have that for 50 points. You get 2 more wounds, 1 more Rend, and the Scour ability, which is a very nice ability. But if you can't have that, that's really, really cool model. I'd use that model for sure. Yeah, definitely. Oh my gosh, how many bits are gonna fall off of it though? Let's have a look at that again. How careful do you have to be? Oh, super careful. And these are the guys that go really well together. Yeah, I think this fly base, if I could, I'd just bring them down and put them on the plant. So I'm getting rid of the fly base. Maybe add an additional plant in somewhere. Or a big old rock that he's floating over. Then I don't have to use the fly base. That's what I would do. Keep it a little bit more realistic. Okay. Who do we have? You are Immetrica. And you are named little one. And you guys have to come together as you would expect in a little warband. 220 points. There are 4 models. Have to be taken at 220 points, but they act as 2 separate units. Okay, let's just see what you do. 5 wounds, 6 inches, 5+ save, 8 bravery. 2 wounds each, 6 inches, 4+ save, 7 bravery. Why the grunts are better at saving than the hero, I don't know. Sure. You have Searing Blames and a Staff of Enlightenment. The Searing Beams have 18 inches, 3 attacks, 3+ hit, 3+ wound, Rend -1, 1 damage. Nice. Staff of Enlightenment has 3 attacks, 3+ hit, 3+ wound, Rend -1, D3 damage. It's alright. You have a Scry Owl Familiar. Add 1 to casting, unbinding rolls, and dispelling rolls for this model. In addition, at the start of your hero phase and at the start of your shooting phase, you can pick 1 enemy unit within 24 inches of this model and that is not visible to this model. That enemy is visible to this model until the end of the phase. Cool. X is your little scry. And the casting, the add 1 to casting, unbinding, and dispelling rolls is quite nice. You are a wizard, a Sonari wizard. You can attempt to cast 1 spell and unbind 1 spell. You know Arcane Bolt, Mystic Shields, and Dazzling Light spells. Dazzling Light has a casting value of 6 or 5. Add, if successfully cast until your next hero phase, subtract 1 from hit rolls for attacks that target the caster, and subtract 1 from hit rolls for attacks made with missile weapons that target other friendly units wholly within 6 inches of the caster, which generally would be these little guys. But yeah, if you can squeeze anyone else in there, that's nice. 2 wounds each, 6-inch movement, 4+ save, 7 bravery. The Aurelian bow. Aurelian bow is 18-inch range, 2 attacks, 3+ to hit, 4+ to wound. Rend -1, 1 damage. It's alright. Hers is, of course, better, but they also have... probably only 1 person has it, yeah. Is 3 models. Aelin Mindsedge is armed with the Sunmetal Greatsword. Bahanar is armed with the Stone Mallet. And Sanala is armed with an Aurelian bow and Banari dagger. So, Crushing Blow. If the unmodified hit roll for an attack made with this unit's Stone Mallet is 6, Add 1 to the damage inflicted if that attack is successful. Stone Mallet. 3 attacks, 3 plus hit, 3 plus wound, rend -1, 1 damage, or 2 if this hit roll is 6. Cool. Guardians. Roll, I imagine. Yes, roll a dice before you allocate a wound or mortal wound to a friendly light color up there within 3 inches of this unit. On a 2+, you must allocate that wound or mortal wound to this unit instead, which is very nice. And the random 1 is okay because it keeps these guys alive and she can handle it. Sunmetal weapons. The Sunmetal Greatsword is 2 attacks, 2 plus to hit, 2 plus to wound. Wow, he's really good. Rend -1, 1 damage, and the Venari Dagger is 1 attack, 3 plus to hit, 4 plus to wound, no rend, 1 damage. So really, for melees, this unit of 4 people has 9 attacks altogether, with a pretty good likelihood of hitting and wounding. Mostly rend -1, basically 1 damage each for 5 attacks. And then also for 9 attacks. Also 5 attacks that might hit for missiles at 18-inch range. And 11 wounds altogether. Ability to cast a spell. Hard to kill. The Sunmetal Greatsword or Aurelian Bow inflict mortal wounds. It's alright. It was 220. I'm not certain I would choose it first among all the other cool things to choose. But it's alright. That is it then. Whew, lot of information. All of the stuff that was in regards to Lumineth Realm-Lords in this book is also in this book. You don't need to get both. However, if you don't have this book and you have the previous book, you can get this book and forget about this one. So I like the fact that they have that option and you don't have to like get 3 books. You could get 1. Either way. And all of this lovely. I mean, if you're a Lumineth Realm-Lords individual, why wouldn't you want to read all of this cool stuff? Oh, I'm excited. I'm excited. Alright, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Like and subscribe if you did and want to see more. And hit that bell notification so you know as soon as I put out the next video, which shall be soon, I imagine. I will catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye!